Good day, all you confused manly men out there. Welcome to the Confused Manly Men fantasy show. I almost said
Fantasy show.
podcast. Yeah, it's not a podcast.
But
We're not a
as you can
podcast.
see, we had to scratch out the podcast because we're just a show.
I'm the Weir Factor.
I am the beloved supreme leader,
Yeah.
and you guys have no idea how hard it is for us to do this. We have to arrange our chairs in a certain way.
Yeah, we can find time, like at work, to get away into a random room to record this.
I know what Ryan's saying right now. Well, I work from 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. at night.
Ryan doesn't work. He just eats Cheetos.
He doesn't. Hey, we got an awesome show for you guys. We're going to do something new, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
We're going to have a Zoom with someone who's very handsome.
Someone special.
someone very, very special to me. All right, we're going to kick it off with training camp talk. So,
yeah, you know what's disappointing?
Is that there's not training camp? That they're not practicing at all? Is that what's disappointing?
Yeah. So I'm the idiot that didn't properly research what this training camp protocol was. Coming back, right? All I saw was the dates. Training camp starts. I'm like, our league starts when training camp starts.
Yeah.
We're going.
Yep.
I didn't know it was pre-training camp, so all they're doing is kind of like jogging around.
Hard knocks is happening though, but there will be no knocks in it.
Yeah, there'll be no knocks.
What is they gonna do? Like stand around and look at each other, going,
So
COVID sucks.
Training camp doesn't start till next week. So now what we got is a bunch of coach speak and stuff like that. Arians coming out and saying Rojo's the man. And Borg's like,
Borg is just clinging to anything to make his crappy team better. I think we really hurt his feelings last week. We're sorry, Borg.
Just want you to know it was a good show.
It was their best show.
Yeah, and
sorry, it was at your expense.
Your bad trade last year gave us so much good
content. It was so good. I've just been walking around, and every time I feel sad about things that are going on in the world, I remember that trade.
Oh, it's so good. I hope you do another one this year, or somebody does one
with me. With me personally.
CEH Rojo for Saquon.
Oh, man. Never mind. He's a trade warlock with me. He'll do it with someone else.
Let's make it up.
All right, who's our sponsor today?
Oh, we got a great one. So it's Hanson's Moving Company, right? This is a brand new startup company.
Sure.
Yeah, it is a jerk. And their slogan is a simple one. It says this: when you decide to leave your friends behind, we can help you with your move. That's what they specialize in, right?
Yeah.
So if you're moving towards friends, they're not going to help you.
No.
But if you're moving away from friends to strangers, that's when they're going to help you. That's when they're good. And they want you to know they employ nothing but the best suburban teenagers, so your job will take 3-4 times as long.
And be beat to crap.
And be horrible. And that's why they also want everyone to know no refunds or payments for damaged property or items, because again, they're using teenagers.
Yeah.
And we know what teenagers are like nowadays.
The thing that I really like about Hanson Moving Company is that whenever they leave, they burn all bridges. They just go, hey, forget all of you. You're dead to me.
Yeah, you could use some moving companies and you'll never see that owner.
Yeah.
Right? He just sends his people.
Yeah.
You will see Hanson at your site. Now, he won't help. He ain't
going
to touch
anything. No. That would require work.
That would require work.
And lifting.
But he will talk to you. Even if you don't want him to talk to you. He's going to come find you and he's going to talk. Anyways, it's a great company, and they accept cryptocurrency.
Yes, that's actually their preferred method.
That is their preferred.
XRP?
Oh, yeah. Hanson Moving Company, long tradition of leaving friends and helping people leave friends. You traitor.
Yeah. What a jerk.
How dare you better your life for your family and leave us behind?
Yeah. What about us?
Yeah, what about us?
What about us?
Yeah, Jordan, now you need to move here.
Yes.
That's the swap.
Oh, that's
Jordan,
it's a way better swap.
Get on over here.
I would love to see Jordan just hang out with Ryan on a regular basis.
Oh man, they would be really good friends.
They would yell all the time and just be like, this is so annoying. All right, hey, we have a very special segment coming up with the person we were just talking about a second ago.
Yep.
Jordan's going to be coming on for our totally relevant topic of the week, and we'll explain that here in just a second.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is for the first time...
That was my cut. I thought we were cutting right there.
Oh, okay. Well, let's bring that back in.
I love it. All right, so welcome our special guest today. You can probably already guess who it is. It's Jordan Riddell. Jordan is wearing a very special shirt for us, and he's doing something very special for the camera right now. So Jordan, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. How are you guys feeling?
Show the stats.
How are you guys feeling?
Is that a boogie in there?
No, there's no booger in there, man.
What, you get gray hair? Man, Man, you're gonna be gray soon, huh?
Well, the internet has been clamoring for you, wanting you to be on the show with us. How does it feel to be here? Right?
See, you mean I've been clamoring?
No, the whole internet. The whole internet.
The interwebs.
I would say that it feels good, but
yeah.
I mean, what am I, the fourth guest?
Yeah, but now we're getting into the good shows.
Yeah, but the fourth guest. I mean,
fourth guest is good. What's wrong with the fourth guest?
I think it would have felt better to be on before Hanson, but it's all right, I guess. It feels good to be here.
Thanks before we got you in here.
It feels good to be there virtually.
Good.
You're virtually here with us.
Hey, give us your take on the show so far.
I thought, what is it? This is episode 6, right?
Yeah, this is.
Episodes 4 and 5, you guys really hit your stride, I think. It just seems like you're getting into a natural rhythm with it. And not only are you getting, you're getting a little bit more funny, but you're also getting some better analysis. The way you dove deep into pork.
Funny?
Dude. The way you dove deep into pork. I hope you're doing that. Who is this, Ryan? Yeah. I hope you guys do the same type of depth for Ryan because there's a lot there.
Dude, Bork's team was magical. It's a magic team.
We're really good at talking about bad teams, so you can just get ready for the Ryan episode. That one will be very, very good.
Be great.
All right, so what we have today for our totally relevant topic is a continuation of last week, and what we're talking about is we're talking about opposing teams and who's somebody on their team that you look at and you say, I would want them on their team because you look at the cost and you say, we believe that they can exceed that. We believe that they could be really good. I'd love to have them on our team. So we're just doing that. You good to go?
I'm good to go whenever you guys are ready.
All right, we're going to start off.
It's going to be magical.
It is.
Oh.
We're going to start off with the team unsolicited Dak picks, which is Justin's team.
Okay.
Tell us who you take.
So I'm going to start with the player that I think is going to exceed their value.
Okay.
And one that I would want specifically. I honestly think Justin's got a lot of good players that are kind of middle price ranked, right, for kind of where they're at for their potential. But I would take Raheem Mostert as my player that's going to exceed his value because $6 for a dude that could go on a tear, right? Drop 80 yards a touchdown, 100 yards a touchdown every game on the ground in that Shanahan offense. Dude, yeah, that's
16 touchdown season.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, he could. He could. I mean, just look at what he did the second half of last year. Honestly, the dude was on a tear. He won me a championship in a different league. So.
Well, and they don't have any receivers, so
they don't have any.
They're going to run the ball a ton.
Come on, man. They have Debo.
Who's injured?
Hey, they got.
I wish he wasn't.
I think they still got Pettis.
Yeah, they still have Pettis. They have Kittle. Kittle is their best receiver.
Kittle, but Braid is gone, and Coleman, is just meh.
They're going to. They're going to. Yeah, it's going to be an RB.
Yeah. Right, but that's probably better for Mostert, right? It keeps him fresh.
I like.
He's got at least beat, right? $6, right? Tough to beat. So,
love that.
Do you guys want to do your exceeds, or you want me to do my bust now too?
No, we'll go through our exceeds and then we'll let you do your bust.
What are you doing?
I'm just making sure I'm not stepping out of line, man.
Look at this.
I'm making sure I'm not stepping out of line.
You're almost as bad as Hanson. Hanson didn't try to tell us what to do. But you remember when Hanson just gets on his phone and starts worrying about his social brand? I'm YouTube famous now. Using us to get famous.
Hey, you guys don't know what I'm doing off screen.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. You don't know what's going on over here.
Where your hands at? Keep those visible. I've got somebody that's near and dear to my heart because I long for him and miss him. It's Kenny G. I think $34. I think he's going to exceed that price. I think he's going to do even better this year. I think he continues to he's fast. He's tall. Great hands. I mean, I think he's just got all the talent. And with Stafford being there, hopefully for a little bit longer this season, I'm not going to say full season because there's no way that Stafford plays a full season. But if Stafford is there, I think he exceeds even the $34 range because that's mid-range.
I think Kenny G will end up a $35 player.
then win. Count that as a W.
Yeah. What do you think about that? What do you think about Kenny G? You got any takes for us on Kenny G?
You like Kenny G?
I do have a take for you on Kenny G.
Let's hear it.
And it has a lot to do with the type of separation he gets, which is very little.
Wow. Okay.
Pretty much the least in the league. And if you look at his tape from last year, a lot of big plays, a lot of contested catches, and a lot of stuff where the defender falls down and he's able to run it for another 40 yards to get to the end zone. So I don't see him reproducing those 11 touchdowns,
You seem regressing.
Yes, I do. As far as touchdowns go, so I don't think he's going to be 30. What is he? He's 34, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, probably mid-20s, right? But I think he's right now a little overpriced.
Okay.
Dude, there you go.
Good player, though.
Trade Kenny G to Bork ASAP.
ASAP. Do it immediately right now.
Dude, he's at a peak value. Hey,
So
what do you,
give me where does he finish? Wide receiver what?
Maybe 18.
18.
Oh, wow. So a big
Wow.
regression.
Okay.
Big regression.
All
So
right.
you don't like him clearly.
No. He's on the Lions, dude. I mean, let's be real. Have the Lions really had a good receiver ever?
Yeah, never.
And
Never. They drafted a lot of
Marvin
receivers.
Jones. I'm going with on his team. I'm going with Marlon Mack. Kind of already talked about Marlon Mack. $2 though. That's pretty cheap value for a veteran running back that's going to see the ball. I don't think he's getting phased out, at least not for the first 8 games. Yeah.
Any thoughts?
No, I mean, not really. I don't like to think about Marlon Mack. So,
Why? Because he's not handsome enough for you?
yeah, pretty much.
What week does Marlon Mack get injured and then Taylor just takes over completely? That's the real
3.
question. What?
3.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 3, 4, right around there. All right, tell us your bus player.
I did. I already told you. It's Kenny G. That's why you asked me for thoughts on Kenny G. I told you. Yeah.
We asked you for thoughts on Kenny
Bust.
G.
Wow,
Don't
okay.
tell us why we're
Poor
doing
Bork.
this.
Why would you do this to Bork a week after we just roasted him?
Well, he doesn't have Kenny G, right? So it's
No, but he loves him.
Bork?
Yeah, but I don't know.
He's their only good player.
So here's the thing. Why would he trade so much to get Carry On when he could have traded to get Kenny Galladay for way less and gotten a better player? It doesn't make sense.
He
It doesn't make
Hey,
sense.
listen. This dude, Bork, somehow, some way, if he doesn't end up with CEH, it's because he overbid on Swift.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
It'll
that's
be
exactly
that.
right.
It'll be that.
All right, team Weir Factor.
Oh, that
Ooh.
is this guy's team, everybody. That's his team. Why don't you lead us off, Jordan?
Yeah, man. I had to choose an Exceed player. I had to choose, right?
Yeah.
This was the hardest team to choose a player that I thought was actually going to outperform their value, man. Honestly, everybody's just overpriced and they look bad. I don't know, man.
I hope not.
I would trade Brandon, you should trade your players.
Dude. I like the fire. This is great because
Package them together. Be like, look,
somebody else.
Brandon, your saving grace right now for your team is that your players look better than they are because of their value. So you could package a couple of them together to get actually good players.
Yeah.
Like you could.
Let's talk after this so you can give us suggestions on who.
Yeah.
Because obviously I'm not doing a good job evaluating them.
Yeah. So that's my C player. I like to listen to Troy Aikman because Troy Aikman he's close friends with one of my good friends who's Joe Buck. Right. So that's my in there. And as Troy Aikman's always said, at least during this past season, right, the most complete receiver in football is Robert Woods. Right. $20 for Robert Woods, the most complete receiver in the NFL. Dude, it's got to be a steal, right?
Yeah.
So
because
I would say dude, Troy said it. I believe it. I mean, he's got to be. So I would say that Woods, with Cooks leaving, Reynolds has shown that he can be a number 3, but he's not going to take very many targets, right? So I think – and look at what Woods did last year in some stretches. He had some huge games. So I think if he can at least be more consistent, I think that $20 is very good value for him and that he can be an upper mid-20s player at the end of the season type of value he gives you. Kind of finish like WR 14, 15. So I would take Robert Woods.
Would anybody be surprised if Bobby Woods finished WR 10, 9, 8? Not at all, right?
No. He needs to score more touchdowns.
Range of possibilities. He's so good.
Yeah.
I love watching him in real life.
4 more touchdowns. It's a possibility.
We've all owned Robert Woods too.
Oh man.
Right? You remember that when you didn't keep him? You decided to let him go.
Yeah, but that was before. That was the beginning of his breakout. That was
no. Jeremy picked him off of waivers. I thought. No.
And then he dropped him, and then I picked him.
Yeah.
Right?
Old Bobby Woods. I love him. All right.
Dude, he's
at least
a good player.
At least I had him before he really blew up. That's my thing.
You did.
Yeah.
You did. You had him before he was good.
Yes.
So my pick for his team is Mecole Hardman.
Yeah.
And here's why I'm going with Mecole Hardman. One is $2. But it's not just going to be the Tyreek Hill show. And even when Tyreek Hill is healthy, it's not just the Tyreek Hill show because that dude is the ultimate boomer bust player. I mean, he really is. That dude is either throwing up 40s for you or he has the range to give you like 2, right, or 3, right? So they're gonna throw the ball, close to 600 times, if not 600 times, something like that. There's going to be another player or two that –
CEH, bro.
Yeah.
They're going to be running it 300 times.
Offense that pops. And $2, would you not take a boomer bust Mecole Hardman for $2?
Oh, on that offense? Yeah.
Yeah, of course, right? He's a better Robbie Anderson boomer bust. He's a better Will Fuller boomer bust because he's in a better situation.
Yeah.
And $2, dude, I'd take that all day. If I can get if in the draft, if I can get Mecole Hardman, I can't. But if I can get him for $2, he's definitely going to be on my bench because I'll take that ceiling of like, this dude can probably put up a 30, 40-point game for you. No problem.
Okay. So I listed out player I'm most excited about and the player I'm most worried about. So
let's hear it.
Player I am most excited about is Chubb because I think Chubb is a top 3 talented running back in the league.
You like Nikolai Chubb?
I mean, his vision is amazing. His lateral movements are great. He has good quickness. So that first 10-yard burst, he can get to that really quickly. He's actually got softer hands than what he gets credit for. And Kevin Stefanski coming in and a new line coming in. You go and you watch some of the film on this guy, and he has elite talent.
So what do you think about that Chubb alone?
So who are you bumping to 4 and 5?
Doesn't matter. He's top 3.
Yeah, but you got Zeke, Barkley, and Kamara. Those are and CMC. Like,
yeah, I think because of his durability and his ability to carry the ball and his size, I think I've got him over Kamara.
What do you think?
Kamara can't touch the ball more than 15 times. I think you can give –
that's not true.
You can give Chubb the ball.
Jordan, do you like Chubb? Do you not like Chubb?
Here's what I would say about Chubb. I would say that Chubb's the bust player, not because of his talent. I think he's good. I think he's a top 8 back because he's limited, really. He's not a receiving back, really. $37 is too much for a dude that's going to end up splitting time with Kareem Hunt. Like, it's just the pie. The pie's
WBC.
Yeah, dude. The pie for Chubb is getting smaller, right? Because Kareem Hunt, he's gonna get some, because he's good too. I think Kareem Hunt and Chubb are honestly equally talented. I don't think either of them are really that good, but yeah.
I wish we had Hanson on.
Hanson would love this right now.
Oh no! I don't think Hunt is a viable. What did Hanson say? Hunt was the RB2 or?
Yeah, I think he liked.
Yeah, he said RB2.
He said Hunt could be an RB2. Yeah, I don't think that at all. I think he'll be like RB3. But
well, you think he's going to be the parasite to the viable runner, right? So there's viable RB1 there. That's Chubb. And all Hunt does is the good old day parasite of not enough to really bring standalone value himself, but just enough to limit Chubb's upside. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Chubb is one of those players that a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on. He's one of those guys you're going to throw out there.
Because you saw it for some of the season, and then unfortunately when Hunt came in, you saw a different story. You saw the parasite effect. The question is,
what's real
and where's Stefanski?
What's their scheme going to be moving forward?
And because I think if we're realistic, there's only been a few times where you can get really good production of 2 running backs in the same backfield, right? There's Kamara and Ingram. They had one season. Then you can go back to D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart. That was like another one season.
You really didn't want.
No, exactly. You don't want that, right?
Right.
It's not ideal, you know.
I mean, you'd take them if you had them, right? But it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But $37.
Like Chubb.
Too much.
Like Chubb. I think Chubb probably realistically ends the year RB7, RB8, RB9. I think he's an RB1 because I think Stefanski wants to run. I think he's an RB1 because I think Stefanski likes that single running back there. I do think Kareem Hunt is talented enough where he's gonna like demand some touches, and they'll utilize him. I don't know what it looks like, and so I think that to me that's the cap for Chubb. Is 1, he's on the doo-doo Browns, and then 2 is Hunt is there and he's a parasite. But I still like Chubb. I think Chubb He's a player I'd like.
If Chubb ends up RB 8, 9, 10, then I'm happy with that because I got Saquon at RB 1 this year. So you got 2 solid running backs right there. And then I think I think Saquon's going to have an amazing season this year. And so
he's got a great OC. Great OC.
Hey, Garrett will use him. Garrett will definitely use him. So, all right, player I'm worried about is Sutton. So Sutton is $26. So it'll be $24 for me.
That's a lot of money.
The thing I worry about with him is not the talent. I think he's talented. He doesn't get great separation. He's not fast. He's not, but he runs good routes. I think he's good with the jump ball. I think he's a monster in the end zone. But his problem with me is just going to come down to Lock. Is Lock any good at all? And we will see. Plus, they've added a bunch of weapons.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's a lot, dude. 26 bucks.
It is a lot
of money. Dude.
I feel a lot better if he's like 13.
Yeah, or even 18, 26.
He's more than OBJ, which is ridiculous to me.
And you can at least hope that the prices still change, right? I mean, there's probably going to be one more update, right?
Yeah.
Just keep hoping, man. Keep hoping.
Training camp information yet? There's no training camp out there. I do think Jerry Jeudy is an awesome receiver, but he's a rookie. He's a rookie coming in on a shortened camp season. So Cortland Sutton is probably going to demand a lot of targets, man. 26 bucks.
Oh yeah. All right, Zeke is a felon team. Yeah.
Wait,
Ryan,
who was your bust, Ben?
I didn't name a bust.
Oh wait, who's your bust? I'm sorry.
My bust was Chubb. I think Chubb is a little overpriced there at $37. $37, you kind of expect somebody like. Look at the backs that are going cheaper than that, right? And we'll get to like guys like Mixon and there's just other running backs that I would rather have. That are at a lower value. That's why I think just a little overpriced yet.
Yeah. Who would you rather have, Jordan? Nick Chubb or CMC?
These hard-hitting questions that Ben is bringing right now.
Same price?
No. At their listed price. At their listed price.
Man, that's a tough one, man. I'd probably have to go CMC because he's just way better and has way more opportunity and will put up way better numbers.
Yeah.
So which one would you want?
CMC.
Okay, so his point is
I'm sticking with Chubb.
Like Jordan just proved it.
Yeah.
Chubb sucks.
No, Chubb does.
Dude, yeah.
Chubb does.
I mean, come on. Who picks a white running back over a black running back? I mean, let's be real. In today's age,
nobody. Except for
nobody.
Peyton.
Yes. Love that, dude. All right, Team Zeke is a felon. Go ahead. Give us who's your pick on that one?
All right. So I think Ryan's got pretty lucky here because Keenan Allen right now at $16, absolute steal. Absolute steal. I mean, I know Tyrod he's never supported a receiver, WR1, anything like that, right? But he's also he played with Robert Woods for like a season, maybe two. But man, Keenan Allen, the type of routes that he runs are just nasty. He's got great hands. I mean, he's a 90-catch, 1,000-yard dude, and $16 is just cheap. It's just dirt cheap.
How many games do you think till Herbert gets in there?
I don't know, man. I think Tyrod might hang on until week 5 or 6, and it's not going to be. I don't think it'll be injury. I think it'll just be like, wow, okay, Tyrod threw another 180 yards. Yeah. 120 was to Keenan. Like, let's get Herbert in.
I think it'll be a rotation too, because I think that they'll be in that panic mode, right? Where they'll like put in Herbert. Unfortunately, I don't think Herbert's good. NFL good. And then I think they'll pull Herbert and then they'll put back in Tyrod. Yeah. And at that point, Herbert's ruined, right? Yeah. Because you benched him.
I mean, and let's be real about Tyrod. He got benched for Peterman.
Yeah. Peterman, though, man, that guy threw 5 interceptions.
Remember how good that guy was? All right, so for me, Ryan was a really hard pick for me. I ended up taking Singletary. I think a little bit undersized, but I think he does have some talent, and we don't know. Only $11, so you're not making a huge investment in him. And let's kind of see. I know they brought in some other running backs, and they got some other things that they're trying to do, but – we'll see.
You're not scared of Zach Moss doing something from him at $11?
Yeah, I am. But $11, I'm like, okay.
Grab
Josh Allen likes to run that football too.
He does, man. I went with Brandon Cooks. He's $2, and somebody's got to catch
Yes,
balls,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
You will see my next pick.
yeah, and I think it's Brandon Cooks. I really do. I think he's by far and away the best receiver there, right? I think Will Fuller and Deshaun Watson have chemistry, but dude, Fuller's body is just not right. And I know Cooks has an injury tendency too, but dude, Cooks, dude, he's really good, man. He's a really, really good receiver.
He is.
If last year didn't happen, the narrative on him coming into this year is completely different.
Yeah, he's also
receiver.
one concussion.
He is,
2
man.
concussions away from maybe never playing.
He is,
again.
but what Cooks does well is he's a good route runner. He's fast, and he gets open deep easily. He separates deep easily, right? And what Deshaun Watson likes to do, Watson doesn't like the intermediate throws. What Watson likes to do is risk injury and bomb that ball, right? And I think him and Cooks are going to have a really special season. I like Cooks as an easy mid WR2. Like I could see him ending the season WR14, WR13, WR15, and I think Cooks is going to have a couple games where it's like 30 points.
And he's $2.
And he's $2.
He's $2.
He's $2.
Go
Go ahead, give your take.
Yeah. On Cooks?
Yeah, or just the I know you have you're buying into Watson. He's been your boyfriend here. How do you feel about them heading into this year?
And you've had Fuller.
Look at what look at how he peppered Hopkins, right?
Yeah.
And they don't have a tight end that's going to take a high volume of catches, right? And David Johnson sucks. So they're going to have to throw the football. And Cooks, he's just had one concussion, right? I mean, it was a really bad concussion, or maybe 2 concussions last year. He hasn't had any lower body injuries that I'm aware of, right?
So fast.
Lightning fast, good route runner. And like you said, dude, Deshaun likes to make everybody miss in the backfield. Take a couple hits, spin around, kind of do a little bit of this, like, and then just throw it 50 yards downfield and have it be incomplete because Will Fuller just fell down. So now that he can throw it to Cooks will catch it. Yeah. I think, honestly, man, Cooks at $2 is going to be kind of like how Chark and A.J. Brown were like, those receivers that were like nothing, right? Nobody even thought of them coming into the season, like just blowing up.
Yeah. These 60 catch, 70 catch, 1,000 yard, 7 touchdown receivers.
Or even more. Could be even more, man. I mean, Hopkins was what, 110 catches, right?
Who's competing against?
Yeah.
Like, who's on his talent level there? Nobody.
QT, dude. Kiki QT, bruh. Texas Tech, right? Let's go, baby. Red Raiders till we die.
I've never been healthy. That's what it is. All right, we got team. Oh, wait, go give us your bust.
Oof. This is a tough one for me, man, because Ryan's players are, like, a lot of them are pretty bad, and their value is kind of where it should be because they're not really that good.
Yep.
But I chose Leonard Fournette, and it's not because I don't like Leonard Fournette as a player. It's because he's got a completely different offensive scheme coming in.
Yeah.
Jay Gruden the last few years has really not been that great at running the football. Peterson's been good, but what was Peterson? Like low-end RB2, right? So with Fournette, I mean, $25 for him, like all you can really expect is low-end RB2 in my head with Jay Gruden's offensive system. Plus, I haven't seen Fournette in a zone run scheme West Coast offense, right?
That's true.
He's only been in that power I.
Yep.
So that's a big adjustment with a shortened offseason. I think he's limited in how high he can go. So I don't think, again, he's not going to be a complete bust, I don't think, because he lost weight last year, looked pretty darn good last year. But $25, maybe like $15, $16. Yeah, I can see that.
Do you think they're going to give him the ball a ton this year?
No, not really, man. Because
you think they're going to put it on Minshew?
Gruden's offense he doesn't go past 230, 240 carries, which is still like that's good volume. But he's not going to get 300 touches, I don't think.
He needs the ball a lot to produce.
He's a low yard per carry back, right?
He's not an explosive guy. He's a grinder. The more you give him, the better he gets. He wears down people.
Yeah.
Big dude.
Yeah. And I think if they can find some dude that's fast, kind of like Chris Thompson, Gruden's going to give that guy more chances too.
Yeah, I would
It's true.
agree.
It's true. All right, Team Nashmobile, the old guy.
Nashmo Beezy.
Mr. Jerry here.
Nashmo
Start us off.
Beezy.
I like your pick on this one. Go ahead.
Yeah, dude. $1 for Aaron Rodgers? What? First of all, he's a quarterback, right? And you got to love quarterbacks in fantasy football. I mean, who wins games in football? Quarterbacks,
Punters.
right? I mean, who wins games in fantasy football? Quarterbacks, right? Ask Hansen, right? Look at how Hansen won a championship. Mahomes, right?
As Borg.
Look at how Borg.
Championships.
Look at Borg,
Dollars.
right? Lamar Jackson carried his team, right? Quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Last 2 years, if you can get one dude, that's a quarterback, blow up, right? But really, seriously, let's be real here. $1 for Aaron Rodgers, I think that's the cheapest he's ever been valued at.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And Aaron Jones is not going to reproduce all of those touchdowns that he had last year.
There is regression.
Right. So, I mean, I think it's realistic to say 30 touchdowns for Aaron, 4,000 yards.
Who's going to catch this?
Yeah.
Aaron Jones.
He had 26 touchdowns last year. It's not out of the question. Like
No, not at all.
And yeah,
I think that I don't know, man. I really don't know because I don't know who's going to catch these balls. Like
Devontae.
Lazard, baby, Lazard.
I mean, Lazard. I like Lazard because I watched him in the Big 12, right? And I like rooting for guys like Lazard.
Aaron Jones
but that
will
dude
catch the ball.
is so slow off the line. Lazard is. Aaron Jones.
Sternberger, they'll figure.
I'm telling
it
you,
out.
Aaron Jones will be the number 2 target share guy on that team.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree. All right, how about yours?
I'm going with AJ Green. He's $9. That is kind of a lot for AJ, right? But here's the thing. AJ's the best receiver on that team. Joe Burrow's there. They want to throw the ball. Joe Burrow is an upgrade over Andy Dalton from last year. And AJ was obviously injured. So I think AJ Green, I'm not saying he's going to resume old school AJ Green status, and who knows if he's going to stay healthy or not. I would roll the dice on keeping him for $9. I don't know what else is competing there. I would roll the dice on keeping him because the upside is WR1. Like the upside is WR1.
Wow.
No, that is the upside because he's done it historically. He's done it.
Yeah.
That's the upside.
3
right?
years.
I mean, it's AJ Green, right? Like
AJ Green, man.
It's just like it's the same thing with Brandon Marshall. Even as Brandon Marshall got older on the Jets, right? Dude was still a solid fantasy receiver, right?
Yeah.
And it's AJ Green.
Yeah, not saying he's going to hit that upside, but would you spend $9 for the WR15, WR12?
Yes.
I would, right?
Yeah. I don't think he's going to get WR1, but if you're talking about WR15, he's worth the $9.
But
or
we
even
know
maybe
this.
18.
If AJ is healthy, that's the if. If AJ is healthy, he will give you WR1 weeks. He will put up WR1 weeks. And for $9, finding somebody that is actually going to give you multiple WR1 weeks, man, that's a good get. I don't think Jerry's going to keep him, personally. I think he's because he's got that bad taste in his mouth thing, right?
Yeah.
We've all been burned by balls. Like, you just don't want them. You're done with them. You don't care, right? I think he's going to drop them.
So you're going to spend some –
I don't have $9. I don't have $9.
How much do you have, Ben?
I'll have like
$18.
I'll have like $2 per player. I'll be Ryan. I won't be. But here's the thing. He's gonna have a little bit more than me.
Yeah,
a little bit more than me.
I'm like gonna have 27, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend the $9 on AJ Green and just dangle him up. Not really.
So I might have like second or third most draft cash.
You?
I said I might have like second or third. I'm gonna have like $75.
Justin's
I think.
gonna have a lot.
That's why we bumped you. That's why we bumped you. And Justin's gonna have a lot too, man.
It helps with good solid pieces, and then you have some money. The problem with Bork is he doesn't have good solid pieces. Get the money, there's no pieces.
Dude, here's something scary. We'll talk about this a little bit later. There's another team out there that has really good keeps that's gonna have more money than you and I, and have really good keepers.
Combined, you and I combined. All right. So I have Will Fuller down. It's that same idea of, all right, there's consistency with the quarterback. I'll take a $5 shot. They're going to have to throw the ball to someone because Watson is going to throw the ball.
Yeah.
The running game is not going to be great this year. Probably say the least. Their offense will be a problem.
David Johnson.
Man, Will Fuller is he's special when he's out there.
He
He's
is,
special
dude.
when he's
I
out
like
there.
Fuller.
He can make some plays. So I'll take a shot for $5. I'm not really expecting a ton, but for $5 is worth it.
I just wish I had $5 to spend on a player. Like, I wish I had that type of draft liquidity that I could be like, I can spend $5 on one player.
You can just drop Aaron Jones. All right. Give us your bust player.
My bust player is going to be Kenyon Drake.
Ooh,
It's just it's way too much money for a dude that really had 3 big games last year. If you look at all the other game logs, right, he was okay, but that team's going to struggle. They're going to throw it a lot because they're going to have to. I don't see Kenyon Drake living up to $39, but maybe living up to like $20, $22. Yeah, maybe, right? Kind of that back end RB2 spot, but RB1.
His price shot up.
Dude, way up.
And for a few good games, his price went way up.
He's a good player. I like him.
Yeah, here's the thing. The fantasy industry has been watching Kenyon Drake and seeing his talent and his explosiveness in Miami get bottled up, right? Mm-hmm. And it finally got unleashed a little bit in Arizona. And now they're doing the thing that they do every year where they extrapolate back half season. By the way, a fresh player is now playing defenders that are worn down and tired because they played whole season.
Mm-hmm.
I have still not seen that translate in running back world to somebody that sustains that type of production year long, right? I used to buy into that stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Like this guy in the back half of the season, if you just multiply that, right? And it's like, here's the problem. He's fresh legged and he's going against defenders that have been playing all year long.
Yeah.
He's got an advantage. I'm with you. I think Kenyon is overpriced. I think he's great.
I just can't imagine him playing all 16 games. Like I really can't.
Jordan, how many times have we talked about this?
Yeah.
Different coaching staffs have watched Kenyon Drake at Miami, and there's something there that they don't want to give him the shot. There's something there. I used to think it was just Gase, but it's not.
But no, it's back even in college as well.
Even if it was Flores too. Yeah.
There.
And man, he's got that elite speed, but it's weird to me because he really, and this is true with a lot of running backs, right? His big games are when he gets the ball 20, 25 times. And he's not going to be able to do that every week. He's just not built that way, right?
Yeah.
And that's how he was in Miami. When he got the ball 20, 25 carries, he put up RB1 numbers.
Yeah.
When he didn't, it was like nothing, right? 5, 6 points. So I think that coaches, obviously, he's like sleeping with the coaches' wives, or like maybe they just look at him and they're like, oh, man, this dude is just – he broke his leg in college. It's still brittle. You know, he's got like paper bones or something, glass bones. I don't know.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to watch.
All right. Last team is Team Plano Pedestrians. This is Jeremy's team.
They're just Plano Pedestrians.
Just Plano. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like Jeremy's team, man. He's got so many good players.
He does.
Oh my gosh. And the thing is that I think Mixon's actually undervalued. And he's mid upper 30s, right, dude?
Yeah.
I think people forget that not only are they getting a new quarterback, they're getting 3 starting linemen back. They lost 3 starting linemen last year.
Yeah.
And they're getting all of them back this year. And Mixon is incredibly talented. Bell cow, can catch it. And they're gonna lean on him, man. They're gonna give him the football.
They are.
I think he has top 5 back potential.
Yeah.
So I think he's underpriced just a little bit, or he's gonna outperform that price. I'd like to have Mixon on my team.
Yeah, he's good. I have Godwin down at 43, which is obviously that's the most anybody dollar-wise has put out there. But I just think he's such a special receiver. He's very, very good. And, you know, the thing I always factor in is that we do play in a keeper league. And so to have that guy for years heading forward, like that is so nice. Like when he loses Julio after this year, when Julio's gone after this year, like, I mean, you think about like some of the receivers and people that other teams have, like, you're going to have Godwin for year upon year. And I think he just continues to move up that like top receiver rank. I mean, I get it. Brady's not going to throw the ball down the field a lot to him, but he's going to get the ball a ton because they're going to throw the ball a lot this year. And so I think he can play over the top. He can play inside. I mean, he runs great routes. I think he's a really solid receiver. I would love to have him on my team. So that's why I spent the 43 on him. He's young.
I would too. I think he's more than a $43 player too. I love Godwin. I tried to get him. I really did. I tried to go after him. Jeremy smartly is like, no, I'm not moving him.
Yeah.
And why would you have 43? When you watch Godwin and Evans, Evans is a contested catch monster. That dude's unbelievable at that. But Godwin, when you watch him, he's completely wide open. And the reason why he's wide open is because he explodes out of his cuts on his routes.
Yeah, he runs great routes.
And the person is in the dust, dude. He's so good, man. I love Godwin, man.
Me too.
And he doesn't have to play the elite corner.
He doesn't, man, because they're going to stick him on Evans. They're going to, and because you have to put Evans really is. He is the player that if you're like, hey, dude, we got to pick your poison, dude. If you put the worst DB on Evans, he's going to kill him because he's contested catch monster. The other thing is like, I don't think Brady is going to just chunk it up like Winston. Brady wants separation.
Yeah.
Like Brady wants separation.
He's going to value Godwin a lot for what Godwin brings.
Absolutely.
I can see that.
He wants separation. He's a smart player. All right. We like that? Mine.
Bust.
Go ahead. Bust.
Oh, no, yours.
Let me give you mine, then we'll do your bust. So I'm actually going to go with Darren Waller, who is somebody that's near and dear to me. I actually traded him, Darren Waller, this preseason. I think Waller at $8 is a very good value because I don't see receiving target competition in Oakland at all, right? I think he is by far and away the best receiving option. I think they got to work Ruggs in. We all talked about this. To work Ruggs in, you have to manufacture that, right? You have to schematically see that in. Like this play is only going to Ruggs, right? This is how we're going to get him open in space. Waller's the type of dude that you're just all like, go. He's good, man.
Jordan, let me ask you a question. Would you rather have Andrews or Waller? They're both the same price. Yeah. They're both $8. Tight ends, maybe you could consider them maybe even the number one options on their teams, receiving wise, whatever. Which player would you rather have?
Waller.
Why?
Why? He's going to get more passes his way, man. Andrews had a bunch of touchdowns last year that he's not going to get again.
Yeah. And
it's just I don't trust it. And I think Marquise is too good. Hollywood Brown, man. He's going to be getting the ball more. Like that I think Andrews
he's up
there. What?
He weighs 180 now. He gained 23 pounds of muscle, apparently.
Yeah, maybe he won't be able to run though. He's going to run like a 4.6, 4.7.
And Miles.
Pot belly.
He's going to be viable this year. Not maybe in fantasy, but in real football is what I'm saying.
And they got Duvernay, man.
Yeah,
he's gonna work the slot.
And they have some weapons on that team.
Hey, dude, it's gonna be a fun team to watch again, man.
Can't wait. Who's your bust player?
My bust player is Godwin because I think they got him ranked at WR6. They got Evans at like WR7 or something, just stupid. Brady, it's been 13 seasons since Brady supported 2 WR1s. It's not going to happen again.
Jordan, that's good research.
And so you think Godwin takes the hit, not Evans?
I think he does a little bit. I think Godwin's a great player.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a WR2. But Winston threw the ball so much last year.
He did.
I mean, they threw it either the most or second most. Patriots threw the ball a ton too. But I agree. Brady likes to work it underneath. But it's one of those things where maybe it's because he didn't have receivers, but he just.
I think it is. I think it's because he didn't have any receivers, honestly.
They're a big question mark. I mean, I could see them being the Browns of last year. Last year everybody was talking up the Browns and how great they're going to be in the Bucks, and maybe they're not, but maybe they are. I don't know.
When you don't have to overcome 30 interceptions on the season, you don't have to throw the football as much.
Yeah.
The Bucks were down a ton.
Yeah.
I think volume-wise.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay. No, I just think volume-wise, Evans and Godwin they won't have it to be top-tier WR1s like they were last year.
At least both of them being top tier.
Right. I think they're both coming down a little bit, man. Great players, though. I mean, Dynasty, you want both of them.
Yeah.
Right?
We'll talk more about this
one of them.
Jordan and Jeremy's team because it's fun because both of them, one of them has Evans and one of them has Godwin. And I do think I think you have to pick one or the other. But I also think we talk about like all those interceptions that were thrown last year, right? That takes away offensive opportunity. So I don't think it's just that they were behind. I think they lose out on opportunity, right? So I am a huge, and this is part of my biased approach to the Bucs. I'm a huge Bruce Arians fan. Huge Bruce Arians fan. I loved him at Indy. I loved him at Arizona.
Yeah.
I always wanted Larry Fitz at Arizona. Like if you watch me in this league, I pursued him because I just believe Bruce Arians makes receivers and offenses go. And I just think if I look at Aaron's and I look at Brady likes to throw to people that are open, separated, right? He's not the gunslinger type. And I look at Aaron's, his offense philosophy and what he does, dude, I just think it's the recipe's there for Godwin. I'm not saying, dude, who knows? Mike Evans is unbelievable. So this isn't a knock.
Yeah.
Dude, I just think Godwin, when I look at the modern NFL, it's the reason why I went in on Calvin Ridley. I think it's these young, explosive, route-running receivers that are the future of the NFL. You always need those big, amazing receivers like Mike Evans. Julio is obviously maybe the best, right?
Yeah.
But, dude, I just love Godwin.
Well, I think the thing we can agree on is that Brady has no excuse, right?
Dude,
in the past,
this is
we made excuses for Brady, like, hey, he just doesn't have the
43 man.
to throw to Julian, all that.
Yeah.
He's got all the pieces he needs, and he believes he still has it in the tank.
Yeah.
I don't know if he does, but he believes he still does. So here, show us what you got.
I think we also agree that Brady's the GOAT and Houston sports cheated everything.
Oh, yes. Freaking Houston. All right, Jordan, any parting thoughts here?
Or parting shots at people that you would like to have.
Yeah. What would you like to say about Hanson?
I just want to say that I don't think I've seen the sun come out this past week, man. This whole area, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, is just a darker place, man. I really feel like there's just some sucking void that's just back in this area. I don't know what happened
back there too. Is it Jeremy?
No, Jeremy's been back here for a little bit longer, so
what about Barry getting married?
Man,
that's crazy.
Did you guys see any wedding pics?
I saw one. I saw one creepy one that
dude he
posted. No, I'm just
joking. He looks so happy, right?
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't think I've ever seen him look that happy. He always, just
wedding day.
Yeah. Maybe it's because he's always around us and we just make him miserable when we see him.
He has that effect on people.
Hey, have you seen Jerry? Have you seen Jerry alive?
He's not alive. He's not. They took his consciousness and they implanted it into artificial intelligence.
Oh, man.
He's just a program, dude.
Hey, question on the season for you. How many weeks until we break up?
I'm hoping immediately.
Why would you ask that?
He wants to break up because he wants to break
I don't
up.
Want to.
Are you trying to hurt me?
No, I enjoy being together. It's
my last season was an awful season for me. 3-11. So many.
Dude, how was your team so bad last year?
Listen, it was bad until I made a trade.
And your keepers are so good.
It's because I made a trade. Actually,
you still came in last place. You won 3 games.
Let me just say this.
Like your team got so much better.
It was so bad. I just didn't make one trade. I made several trades. Right, work to crawl my way out of the slime dungeon that
the deep hole
previous trades had put me into. So let's be honest. My previous trades, one with you, another with Justin, had put me in a horrible place. Combining that with a awful draft had made me the bottom dweller. And then I made, I'd say, 3 very solid trades that have maybe 4 that have put me back to where I'm supposed to be.
We'll see.
No, the season's over. If the season doesn't get played, I crown myself champion.
Dude, Josh Jacobs is going to be incredible this season.
He is, man. And what a buy. How much is he now? $20?
28, I think.
Buy, dude.
I can't get over it. That's a great move for you. All right, well, we've got a little bit longer.
We love you, dude.
Good to see you.
I just parting words. I think a lot of players in our league have a bunch of great dudes on their teams, except for Matthew, Bork, and David and you, Brandon. Everybody else, I think, is great teams. I would swap with pretty much anybody, but you 4 guys, your teams are trash.
Would you swap with Ryan's team?
I think he's got some players that are undervalued, like Keenan Allen, right? So he's got some pieces there.
You swap your team?
Oh, my team? With Ryan?
Team? Your Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs,
No, Ryan's team's bad.
No, just as long as we all agree that Brandon's team is bad.
Yeah. Hey, I like all the doubters. I like it.
Happy.
I feel very, very comfortable in this season.
So those 5, right? Bork, Ryan, Brandon, David, and Barry, right? Those.
That's good, man.
Bad take. Bad take.
I like it.
All right. Well, it's good to see you, brother.
Great having you, man.
See you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Like,
And we're back. How awesome was that? We did it.
we didn't give it a long enough break.
It's okay.
Yeah,
We're going to edit it in there. It's going to be amazing.
All right. So we're doing our team breakdown right now of Justin.
Yeah, Justin. And this is kind of where, you know, Bork was kind of like the grand finale of having like some juicy morsels of bad team, right?
Yeah.
So
now we're getting the good teams. It's weird.
It is. It's
Like
sad.
above 500 teams.
Yeah, high scoring teams that have good keepers.
Except for mine. Mine was not high scoring.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's
So,
true. We got one more. We got one
Oh,
more.
my team was good.
Oh, we got Ryan's too.
I won 9
We won
games.
Some good stuff with
Shut
Ryan's.
your face.
You did win 9 games.
I won 9
I
games.
can't take that away.
Yeah, you
You
can't
can't.
take
And
take
hey,
it.
at the end of the day, what fantasy football is really about
Is
in
winning.
our league is winning.
Winning.
It's it. It doesn't matter if you score the lowest. As long as you win, get to the championship and win. That's all that matters in our
Yeah.
league. That's how we crown the champion. That's all that matters.
And talk
in football.
trash. That's how we do it.
That's it.
Okay, give us a breakdown
Okay.
of the owner.
I gotta
Since
get
you're
by
so
it.
close with him. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Justin, if we had to put every league owner in a draft pool and say, hey, draft one of these guys, and this is going to be someone you have to go stay with,
Mhm.
right? Justin is 101.
Yeah.
He's 101 across the board. He's the best host. He makes sure that his guests have everything they want, only the finest,
Mhm.
at Hotel Phil Howard. He is a bacon aficionado. I've never seen so much bacon in my life. When I go stay with him, he smokes it and he brings it out, and it's just oodles and oodles of plates of bacon. You might think that you never get to a point where you're like, no more bacon, please.
Yeah.
But you might get close. You might get close
You might get
if you
close.
stay there, right? Here's the thing, though, about Justin. He has really, really poor taste in who he likes in our league. He has poor taste in who he thinks is a good person in our league. Remember, case in point, he likes this guy. He thinks
I'm
Brandon.
likable.
Let's go ahead and get some comments. Let's go ahead and get some comments.
No, here's
in
what I
there
think is
right now.
interesting. Remember last year I messaged Justin about like, hey, Ben and I should come up sometime. We should go to like a Cowboys game. Crickets. I still haven't heard anything. So you say that he likes me, but also I offered to hang out with him, and he said no.
Yeah, that's because he doesn't want you coming. Nobody wants another person coming. He likes you from a distance.
Oh yeah.
right?
No, then I'm very likable from a
That's-
distance.
that's the
All right, I
best
got a
way to
couple
do it.
questions for you here.
Let's do it.
All right, first question is, how are you and Justin related?
That's good. He married my younger sister, my only younger sister, by the way.
Okay.
I got 3 sisters. He married Vivian, my younger sister.
Okay, did you go to the wedding?
I did. It was at Disney World. It was beautiful.
Was it really at Disney World?
Yeah, it really was. It was at
What?
Disney. It was at Disney World. It was amazing. For the what is that the night before dinner called rehearsal dinner? For the rehearsal dinner.
Yeah.
For the rehearsal dinner, they rented out a part of Animal Kingdom. The Animal Kingdom park. So we're there. Nobody else is there. You can hear all the animals in the background. The food was phenomenal.
Were the animals smelling it and trying to get to you?
No,
Were they
because
trying to
it's
attack
like
you?
in this
Okay.
one section, but you could hear them in the background. It was really cool. They were really generous. They actually paid for me to come down there and everything. So I got to go to
Dude.
Disney World for like 3 days, 4 days. I can't remember how long.
That's
and
legit.
it was on their dime for their wedding, to celebrate their wedding. It was amazing.
That is legit.
Yeah.
So, quick question: do you have any single sisters right now?
No, I do. Oh, I do. One of my
Okay.
older sisters.
Would you let one of your sisters date Jordan?
Would I let one of my? The question is, would Jordan want to date?
No. I'm not asking would Jordan want to date.
Yeah,
gonna come in.
yeah. I would let Jordan.
Okay.
I would
All
be
right.
very happy for any woman that dates Jordan, as long as they realize this, that they're a beard, they're a cover up, they're a cover up.
As long as I know that. All right, next
passionless
question.
marriage.
Does Justin give you a hard time at family gatherings because he has been so much better than you at fantasy football?
Next question, please.
Does he?
No.
I'm legit. Like, does he ever say anything about fantasy football when y'all are together?
maybe every now and then, but nothing.
Because his first year in the league,
He's not a
he
big
knocked
fan.
you out in the quarterfinals. The
Dude.
best team you've ever had.
That
That
team
was amazing.
team was amazing.
And
It was
Justin knocked you
amazing.
out. And then who won the championship that year?
This guy did.
Yes.
This guy did.
So that's why Justin and I were like this. Also, and then last year he finishes 8-6, and you finished last place. So he's been in 2 seasons, correct? This
Yeah.
will be his third.
Yeah.
And he's finished and better than you both seasons. Last season by quite a bit.
What's your point?
I'm just saying, does he ever say anything?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
All right.
No.
Last question.
No.
What kind of deodorant does Jordan?
He
Justin wear?
wears
Or
Secret.
Jordan.
he wears secret because it's strong enough for a man, but it's made for a woman. And he likes the strength of it, but he likes the delicateness. He uses secret.
All right, give us a season breakdown. Where did he finish last year?
Okay, so this is crossing that line. So he finished 5th place.
Okay.
Right?
Record?
8-6.
8-6.
Right?
Yep.
And so this is what Brandon and I have been talking about. This is really crazy in our league. What makes our league so hard is that only 4 teams make playoffs.
Yes.
Which is why W's matter, right?
Yep.
Which is why wins matter.
So you can win
8-6.
8 games, be 2 games above 500, and
you're not making it.
Yep.
You're not making it. In just about any other league I've ever played in, if you're 8-6, you're pretty much in. Right?
Not in this one.
Most leagues are 50 to 60% of the teams are going to get.
It's kind of like the baseball. We play baseball style,
It
where
is.
regular season matters a lot. Okay, so
It is.
second overall in points for 1876. So he had second in
lot.
points and ended up in 5th place.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. That is a
Man,
lot.
That's a lot. And then what's crazy is 1876. When we look at another team later on, we'll talk about how the disparity of their points.
Which
But again,
team could it be? All right,
again,
points
it doesn't matter.
against was 1733, which is good for 6th. So I mean, his season.
It's a recipe for winning.
Like, if you were to just look at it on paper and tell you what he went, and I just said, hey, here's the points for, here's the points against. Jordan, stop messaging us right now. Points for, points against, then you would say, all right, this dude definitely made the playoffs, but he didn't.
Yeah,
So-
that is a recipe for fantasy victory, and we all know this. There is a part of fantasy that you control. That's your draft, your free
Yeah.
agency pickups, your trades, all of that, trying to make your team as best possible, right? That's increasing your probability. But there's another part called Fantasy Mojo,
Yeah.
and none of us can control Fantasy
No.
Mojo. And what's interesting is if you look at the Fantasy Mojo part, Justin had every recipe to be a winning team, like a playoff
He
team.
did. Yeah.
But the Fantasy Mojo, even though it gave him that, also took it away.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, what went right for him last year? He drafted 2 gems at wide receiver. So he got Kenny Galladay and he got DJ Moore. Whose team did he draft those from?
man,
Who had those
that's
the year
awesome.
before?
You know what I like is they were on your team
They were
and
on
you
my
decided
team.
not to keep them.
I kept Damian Williams, though, which is...
And that was great, man. I
good
mean, he's
decision.
opted out this year.
It was a good decision.
Sometimes, hey, you know what?
Oh,
Sometimes
it
that's the
hurts.
way the cookie crumbles, right?
You
just don't
got to
know.
pick, and
You
just
gotta
don't-
pick. You gotta
don't
pick.
know if those receivers are going to take that leap, and then luckily they both did last year. So that's great.
And in our world of drafting, if you can walk away with what we'll call 2 gems, right? So I would say that's like 2 good to elite players, right?
Yeah.
Good to elite, right? That's a really good draft,
Yeah.
right? Because we're not a redraft league, so you're not going to draft like 5, 6, amazing players. I mean, you might, but you're probably not going to. But 2's pretty high.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at picking those receivers off the waiver wires and then giving them to somebody else. Okay, high point totals to finish out the season. So the regular season, he finished with high point totals. So you got to feel good, like you're heading up. You're going, okay, this is what I thought this team would be. Derrick Henry scoring out of his mind.
Yep.
You've got Kenny Galladay who's stepping up, DJ Moore who's stepping up. So he had a lot of people who were stepping up towards the end of the season, scoring very high. He did not do as well in the playoffs.
No.
His point total in the playoffs were terrible. But if you're going in, okay, you're already kind of out of it at that point. Like, you got the mojo heading into this season. You got to feel pretty good about that. He also had a 6-game win streak.
That's awesome, dude.
That is awesome. Anytime you win 6 in a row, him and Bork both had 6-game win streaks.
Yeah.
They didn't make the
They
playoffs.
didn't make the playoffs. So 6-game win streak is bad.
It
because
matters
it
how you
means-
start.
It matters how you start.
It matters how you start. So both those guys started off slow, don't make the playoffs. And so you got to think about that. You want to come out of the gate running.
Yeah, I mean a 7-7 team probably not going to make playoffs. 8-6 team you would think makes playoffs, but does not. Historically, it just doesn't in our league.
Yeah.
You've got to start really hot in this league. It's just the way it is.
So that lines into what went wrong for him. We're kind of in that same train of thought, but go
Yeah.
ahead. What went wrong
So
for him?
what went wrong? I mean, we could say it's like the bad fantasy mojo, right?
Yeah.
And so if you look at his first 4 games, it's 2-2.
Yep.
So he goes 1-1, and then he goes 1-2, and he comes back 2-2. And that's not bad. 2-2 is a good platform, right?
But then,
But then comes a 4-game losing streak. And I think this is kind of where we can kind of deep dive into his team, right?
Okay.
We'll kind of talk about that if that's cool with you.
Yep.
So start of the year 2-6. That's a hard hole to climb out of.
you really can't, not in our league. Like
Yeah.
what we just talked about, 8 wins is probably not going to get you into the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's a possibility, but it's very slim. You went back and looked at the history, and very few teams that won 8 games ever made the playoffs.
Ever make playoffs, right? And so he has this really, really bad losing streak, and then he follows up with a 6-game win streak. And I've been on that roller coaster where you're like, I can do it, but no, you can't, because what you need is other people to lose, and you just didn't lose, and that was kind of where he was looking at. So that beginning killed his postseason hopes. So when we looked at this is what's interesting, is he only had in those first 8 weeks. So week 1, he comes out, he drops like a 150 bomb. That's good scoring, right?
That
150 bomb.
Yeah, at the beginning, it's very good scoring.
So typically, when you see a 150 bomb or more, and we have teams that score more, when we see those big bombs, Jeremy, man. When you see those haymakers getting thrown, which I don't think I had very many of last year, when you see those haymakers getting thrown, typically what you're going to see is multiple 30-point games.
Yep.
Or just a ton of 20-point games, right? But it's typically multiple 30-point plus games.
From players, right?
Yep. In week 1, he had 2 players. One scored 30, one scored 40 points, right? Dak was one of them.
Dak was great from all-season QB2 over the year.
Like,
who would have thought that? I mean, he got
amazing.
Cheap.
It was his MVP. So he had 2 guys that just went out, and those are what we call game-winning weeks, right? They had this game-winning week, throw it down 150. So now from weeks 2 through 8, that's a big stretch of the season.
Yeah.
Weeks 2 through 8, there's 9 starters on your team? Mm-hmm. And so that's...
I don't know that. I just...
I think it's like 9 starters on your team.
Good.
So let's just kind of do some weird math here. 9 starters on team, 7 weeks of games there. So 9 times 7, 63. So 63 players. Out of that, only one more opportunity of 30 plus.
Yeah.
Only one more. And it was Dak again. And he did it week 4 or 5, 6, something like that. So he just didn't have his players landing any haymakers. And it wasn't just that they weren't landing haymakers. It's usually his second guy barely scored 20 to high teens. And then the rest of his team was like really low teens to single digits.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the struggle is his haymaker guys, they didn't come on till late in the year.
Yeah.
And in our league, it's not just about fielding a good team. You have to have league week winner performances. You have to, because there's this shark world. Every year there's a shark world, and I always want to be in there, and that's why I chase points, and it gets me in trouble. That shark world, they throw haymakers. Like 150 is a low week for them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they swim in that 180 to 200 ceiling, and you just look at those guys, and I'm like, I scored 113. This dude scored 180, and then you open up their thing, it's like 30, 40, 20, and it's crazy. Mm-hmm. So Justin had a good team last year. He just didn't have the elite haymakers.
Well, and going into the season, he had a lot of draft capital. He had the second most amount of money, right? So he could do kind of whatever he wanted to with that. And he comes out with 2 gems at wide receiver. He talked about that, DJ Moore, Kenny Golladay, but he really struggled. He put quite a bit into Devontae Freeman.
Yes,
and Freeman didn't end up working out, and he had a couple of other drafts that didn't go. So talk through those real quick.
Yeah, let's you hit on one of the busts. Devontae Freeman was Sterling Shepard. He put $14 into Sterling Shepard, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it is in our.
But you could have gotten Tyler Lockett for that much.
He could have. So $14 for Sterling Shepard, and then $10 on Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
Right, and so he was really kind of hoping that Zeke
would
sit out. Right? And so that's kind of
Sony Michel too. You were talking.
Yeah, he had Sony, and Sony was he was a bust, right? He was just a bust. So really, if you're looking at his draft, he kept Sony, Deontay. I think he kept Devonta Freeman too.
Devonta Freeman, yeah, he did.
He kept Devontae, and then he brings in $24 combined. Shepard, Pollard, that really crippled him. But again, those 2 gems, and so it's the tale of 2 seasons. Unfortunately for him,
I mean, he could have still gotten Kenny G and still gotten DJ Moore. He didn't spend very much money for them, and also still gotten a Miles Sanders, or he couldn't have gotten Jacobs because Jacobs was ridiculously expensive last year. I know I paid for it, but he could have gotten a Miles Sanders instead. But instead, he had a couple of other ones, so he still could have hit more with the draft capital that he had. But still, coming away with 2 people is good. And you look at his top players. Top player, we said, all right, was Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
and Derrick Henry was RB5. So he outproduced. But the problem is that he came on very strong at the end of the season. So you see Justin's team kind of running with that. He wins 6 in a row, at this one point. But the problem is that he had games where Derrick Henry just wasn't there. And so not having another consistent running back really hurt him.
Yeah, and that's kind of I think that's always the question with Derrick Henry is we haven't seen him have. I mean, don't get me wrong, where you end is where you end, and nobody can take that away, right? I mean, I'll take a player that ends up I'll take the Aaron Jones of the world that
Yeah.
ends up RB2 but doesn't give me RB2 overall,
Yeah.
but doesn't give me necessarily even RB2 performance
Yes.
year in, year out. I mean, week in, week out. So it doesn't matter. It's the whole sum. But with Derrick Henry, when he's your lead guy, and this is what we're talking about, the haymakers, the game winners, is he just his consistency? That's what I'm curious about this year.
Yeah.
Is can he week in, week out be a player that just what is that noise?
It's a
Somebody
piano.
playing a piano?
Yeah, I think so. I
That's
think
crazy.
someone's playing.
Can,
But
can he week in, week
Yeah.
out, hang with the CMCs, the Zekes, the Saquons of
and does
the
he get
world?
game scripted out?
Does he
that's
get
the whole
game scripted
question.
out?
Does he
How
get
much
game
how much
scripted
does
out?
AJ Brown take of that pie?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he will, because why wouldn't you feed Derrick Henry? But if the Titans are smart, they're going to game script in AJ Brown more.
Yep.
You're not going to say, "Hey, we got to the playoffs with this strategy. We're just going to keep using it." Nobody will adapt to the NFL.
Nobody will know.
Nobody's going to
Yeah.
know how to stack the box and stop us.
They're going to play Tannehill better
They paid
this
him.
year.
They paid him.
Yeah, they paid him, but they're going to play him better.
Yeah.
The defenses are. They're going to have a little bit more on him. I wonder with that offense how it will be, and I wonder he's going to put a lot into Derrick Henry, and he's got him franchise tag. So this is his last year with Derrick Henry.
Smart on that
for sure.
on that franchise tag.
Yeah,
man.
it is. It is.
Smart.
It'll save him some money. He'll have some good money kind of coming into the year as well. Bust players were Freeman. We talked about RB20. He spent $20 on him. I was surprised he was RB20 though. Can you believe that? I
can't.
would not have guessed that he would be RB20.
But Rojo was like RB26.
Yeah, it's true.
So-
It really.
There's like a tipping point where it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It
it's
just-
like past RB 17, 18, and they don't matter at all.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
that
yeah.
point.
You don't
Like,
want them.
You're just trying to get them for a good week. You're
You
hoping that they'll
don't
play a
want
good week. Shepard also was $14, and he ended up wide receiver 49. That's not good return on investment there. And so for the 2020 season, who do you believe that he'll keep?
Okay. I think we're pretty close. I think we differ on like maybe one player, right?
Yeah.
So Derrick Henry is a given. And even though we just talked about Derrick Henry kind of his inconsistency problems, we both like Derrick Henry quite a bit. Kenny G, DJ Moore, Travis Kelce, Raheem Mostert, and Marlon Mack.
Marlon Mack.
Yeah. So this is the
All right.
reason why, again, I kind of go with the situation of, I don't know if this is who he's going to keep. If I had his team, this is who I would keep.
Okay, I try to get inside their head.
Yeah, that's too scary, because if I get in Jordan's head, I put on pantyhose, put lipstick on, right? So we kind of go from two different angles of like,
Yeah.
Brandon's like legitimately saying, hey, this guy's not very good at fantasy. Who are they going to keep? And
Well-
I'm all like, dude, if I had this team, this is who I would keep.
Well, let me tell mine. So I got
Yeah.
Kenny G at $34.
Yep.
I've got DJ Moore transition tagged at $14. I've got Derrick Henry.
King Henry.
Franchise tagged at $23. Kelsey at $36. Landry at $13. And Mostert at $5. And so the switch there would be Landry versus Mack. And I
Yes.
think he likes Landry.
Landry's a good player.
Landry does have some injury issues right now. So I can
Yeah.
see him going, hey, the injuries aren't getting better. Let me go with Mack. But
Yeah.
I just think that the negative speak on Mack, just the draft that they made with Taylor and all that,
Yep.
is going to push him to where he goes, no, I don't want him. But $2, I mean, if you have a chance at running back, Mack is good, though.
Mack is good.
He's
and
got
he's gonna
injury
get
used.
used. He's got
But
injury
he is-
injuries, and he's gonna get used.
And
I'm
their
talking
line
about-
is phenomenal.
It's
They have a
amazing.
great line.
It's amazing, and Phillip Rivers, he needs RB help, right? He's
Okay.
he's an older quarterback, right?
Mhm.
I think he's going to be just fine in Indianapolis. He's a vet, right?
Yeah.
His throws are ugly, but he does throw, right?
Yeah.
But he
they're
needs
ugly.
RB help.
He's got a really strong arm. Phillip Rivers.
They do, and so I think Indy's going to be a fun team to watch. And I'll talk a little bit more about Mack as we kind of progress into this show of why I think he's a really solid keep for Justin. But I agree with you. He's probably going to keep Landry.
He likes Landry.
He likes
He's had
Landry.
Landry for a while.
And Landry
Landry's-
produces.
and at
He's-
$13,
he's just kind of like this.
He's gonna
right?
if he's healthy, he's gonna outproduce that $13.
He is. The thing that I would be, I'm not Justin, but if I was Justin, the thing that would worry me about Landry is Kevin Stefanski being there.
Yeah.
This is not going to be an offense that is all like, hey, we're going to emulate the Chiefs.
Yeah, they're gonna use their best weapon, which is Chubb.
They're going to use their RBs without a doubt, right? And then
Chubb.
you've brought in
They're gonna use
another
Chubb.
receiving.
Say Chubb.
Chubb.
Just say it.
Chubb.
Just say it.
Hey, I like Chubb. I like Chubb a
Chubb
lot.
is amazing.
Yeah, I like Chubb. I'm a big Chubb fan. He was fun in college. He was fun to watch in college.
Still is.
But, when you think about Stefanski, so he brought in Hooper so he can run two tight end sets.
Yeah.
Or at least I think that's what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
And Hooper and
I mean, that's what they told.
that's what they said.
Yeah. What's his name? Their tight end. Well, he wanted to trade.
Njoku. We're running two
Njoku. And they said, no, we're going to use you. And he like rescinded that whole thing.
Yes.
He said, hey, I don't want to be traded now because they convinced him we're going to use two tight end. You're still going to get the ball. Yeah.
I think they want to run something similar to the New England power offense when they had Gronk and Hernandez. Do you know what I'm talking about? Remember that?
They're going to have a good defense, too. I believe their defense is going to be very, very good.
Yeah.
And so minimize mistakes with Baker.
Yeah.
That's a winning recipe. They want to win ball games. Like they're over being flashy and caring about that.
This is probably the best coaching prospect they've brought in a long time.
We'll see. Anytime they hire anybody, I'm like, he's going to be terrible.
Well, here's the thing. It's the Browns. At the end of the day, it's the Browns, right? And there's something wrong there culturally.
Yes.
Because they can't get it fixed.
But here's what's interesting. He was their number 2 candidate last year. And then they went with Kitchens, and then this year they rectified it.
Why would you go with Kitchens?
Oh, why would you go with anybody from the Hugh Jackson regime? You're like, let's get as far away from that as we possibly can. And they went, you know what? Let's run it back as close as we can. I can't believe this didn't work.
We won games. That's how blind they're. They're like, we won some.
We won a few. We didn't make playoffs or anything.
So we'll talk. Let's keep going.
Auction cash. You have down $99. Mm-hmm. I have down $88. I'm actually looking at that and I'm going, man, does that swing things for Justin? Because he's going to be really close to Bork there, which I would love. I'd love Bork to be a little bit afraid of somebody.
To kind of push him.
And to be points for second last year and this year to come in with around $100 in draft capital being number 2. Dude, he can make a splash.
He can.
What do they need to do to compete?
So this is why I went with Mac, because this is the question I was really thinking about. I want to do a better job on what you guys need to compete. And here's the thing. Brandon and I were talking about this. There's only so much you can do in our league, right? We're not actually playing football, and we're not actually out there training and developing our people. So it's not necessarily about us becoming better schematically or something like that. You can only draft, trade, and work the waiver wire. So that's it. Our options for telling you how to get better lie within draft, trade, and work the waiver wire.
And something we haven't mentioned, Justin doesn't trade.
He doesn't trade.
He didn't trade last year. He doesn't trade this year. Even, Dude, trade. You need to trade. You got some good pieces.
I think he's got to dip his toe into the trade world.
Trade Kenny G to Bork, and he'll give you his entire team. Oh, wait, no, never mind. You don't want his team.
Well, he's got 2 enticing receivers, Kenny G and DJ Moore, right?
Yeah.
And I honestly think he could package that with either some money or another player, and I think he can massively upgrade at receiver, right? Yeah. And so the risk is it's a keeper thing, and you could be looking at either DJ Moore or Kenny G, or maybe even both becoming at one point top 5 wide receivers and running that Julio world where it's just every year in and out. But I don't know if they will or won't, but you could probably get yourself seriously, a elite receiver here, right now, by packaging one of those with somebody else.
Yeah, you could do Kenny G and $10 for Devontae Adams.
I bet you could. I really bet you could.
I mean, no lie, Bork would do that.
I'm betting you could. I mean, Bork is obviously somebody you can position Kenny G to.
Yes.
Because he is a Lions fan and Kenny G is good.
He wants a good Lions player, and Kenny G is the best Lions player.
Yes, he is. He is. Now, here's the sad thing. If you do that trade, Justin, Devontae Adams will be just fine. Kenny G, though, is probably going to blow both of his knees out driving to the stadium, right, or something like that.
It'll be interesting because does Stafford opt out today? If Stafford were to opt out today, then Kenny G takes a hit. But Bork could probably still trade for him. He's like, sure.
He would. So this is what I think. Aside from he's like Chase Daniels. We got this. He's even better. He's MVP. So aside from trading, this is honestly what I think. If he kept Mac and he had $99, I think Bork is going to take CEH.
Okay.
And why wouldn't he?
Yep.
Right? Why wouldn't he? That would leave the door open for Justin to grab Jonathan Taylor. And now you've got Jonathan Taylor and Marlon Mack. You have the future. And you've got this. And you've got a potential Ingram, Kamara, run it back 3 years ago, backfield.
Man. And then you own that backfield with that line for years. I like that. I like that.
And that scheme. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. And even if not, right, at some point, Taylor's going to be the man. This year.
Yeah.
This year, Taylor's going to be the man. He's the rookie. If I had money, I would try to go after.
Yeah.
I can't get CH, but I would, because he is going to be the man this year, because he is supremely talented. Do you remember all last year? All we talked about was Taylor.
If Taylor had gone anywhere that there wasn't somebody immediately in front of him, then he would have gone for $80. I mean, I still think you still overpay for this dude, because what we have is we have a keeper league. Yes, I agree, but it really is dynasty in a lot of ways. And you've got to be thinking not just this year. You got to be thinking 2
Moving
years down the road.
forward.
Especially if you're Bork. Like,
Gosh,
if you're
dude,
Bork,
Taylor.
I might go for Taylor even over CEH.
Dude,
Just 'cause
Taylor
of future.
is a big running back that runs sub 4.40.
Yeah.
The dude's a freak show.
Yes.
He's amazing, man. He's amazing.
And they're going to have to be committed to the run because Philip
Gonna
Rivers
have
has
to be.
no arm. And then if he's gone
Yes.
after this year,
Yeah,
They're
so
committed to it.
Justin he's got so many options because he's got DJ Moore and he's got Kenny G and he's got Cash. So he's got a lot of options.
his team really is the most fun to play with right now,
Oh, yeah.
with money and with
Yeah.
the options that he has. And so this ends up where do we think they'll finish? So you go ahead, tell us where you think they'll finish. Mine's a little bit more exciting.
Yours is way more exciting. And actually, I at the beginning when we first looked at this, I had him down in the 5th, 6th place area, right?
Yeah.
But then after
you looked at the money.
you did the research and you were like, dude, he's going to have at least this much money. And then once I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, that was eye opening.
Yeah.
And then so I went in and I was like, oh man, he is going to have a lot of money. So his draft capital plus his keepers, to me, again, everything's going to change post draft. We'll come back out. We'll do another rating show post draft, right? But right now, where it stands in my brain, if he grabs Jonathan Taylor, dude, he's a 3rd place team. He's right there in the playoffs. And understand this: once you're a playoff team, it's all up for grabs.
Yeah.
The championship's totally up for grabs.
And I have him down finishing in 1st place.
Man, that's
First place. And
put your
here's
stamp
why.
on it, man. Put
Yeah,
your
I'm
stamp
putting the
on
stamp
it.
on it. 5th place to 1st place. I think 2nd place finished points forward last year. And his guys are young, right? So he's going to have Derrick Henry coming back in. He's going to have 2 solid receivers. He's going to have Travis Kelce, who's going to be the number 1 tight end unless something crazy happens again. And then he'll be able to draft a good quarterback, draft another running back.
got
He'll be able
money.
to draft all the pieces that he needs.
Yeah.
And he drafted well last year. I'm going to say that continues on this year. And so I think he ends up in 1st place. I think the top teams that everybody's looking at are Jeremy and Jerry, obviously. Yeah, Jeremy and Jerry, obviously, and then Jordan. And then I think Justin just has the ability to kind of take that step forward this year and move forward in 1st place.
Man, could you imagine his team moving forward if he's got King Henry this year, right? And
He's going to get the ball a ton.
He's going to get the ball a ton, right? The guy's an RB1, no matter how,
Yeah.
even though we criticized him, he's an RB1. We both like him. And then he's got Kenny G. He's got DJ Moore. He's already got arguably the best tight end in the game. He solidifies, maybe he runs it back to Dak. Either way, he brings in a top-tier quarterback. And then he grabs himself somebody like Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Dude, that is a team that has game winners because all those guys, Kenny G and DJ Moore, are going to take steps.
Yes,
I think
they are.
I think they're
I
going
think
to
so
take
too.
steps. They're
Yeah,
young,
especially
right?
if Stafford plays. But
Yeah.
I think they're going to take steps forward. And if he were to go out and make a trade for a running back or for an elite wide receiver, that even just pushes them further. He's got lots of chess piece move. I hope he's looking at his team, and I hope he's thinking about how he can continue to get better.
Trade
Yep,
them.
yep.
Take one of those two. It's hard to take a Kenny G or a DJ Moore. Take one of those pieces, combine some money or another piece,
Yeah.
and get an elite player because that is one thing I think he needs because even with Jonathan Taylor, I think Jonathan Taylor will have the ability to have week winning games, but not for a bit, and he can't get in the hole.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm really not sure like what that'll look like. So I think if he got a Hop, an Adams, a Tyreek Hill, somebody like that. There's not a lot of them out there.
No, there's not. But
get a haymaker, man.
go get you something. All right, we're going to take just a break here for a second, and then we'll come back with our next segment.
Hey, all right, we're back. We took a little bit of a break. There might be a segment in here. There might not be a segment in here.
We're really
Either
unsure.
way,
It's a professional operation. we have
Yeah.
here.
Either way, we're gonna make this work. We will see you next week when we do Brandon's team
And talk about how great it's going to be.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love all the doubt. I love it. I'm going to tell you why my team is going to be so great. I
Oh,
held off
man.
today.
Oh,
When Jordan
man.
was bashing my team,
Dude,
I held off. But
Hey,
next week.
Jordan he was a good guess, man.
He was.
He brought,
Are you surprised?
No,
No, not at all.
Man, that's what we've been.
We'll have to have him on again.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, and also we would love to have the rest of you guys on too. We can do it via Zoom. We can do it in person.
It
Whatever.
was weird. I felt like he's actually watched some football and did some research.
Dude, he went real deep.
Bork as well. Bork went deep.
Yeah.
also.
Bork went numbers deep. Jordan went kind of more. I watched this.
Yes.
And this.
Yeah. We
Both
watched
were
the
great.
film. Yeah.
Both were great. It's awesome having you guys
Handsome.
on.
Hanson's not gonna watch this anyways. It's funny. Last week, I told Hanson I made some joke that we made from our video, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "You don't watch the show." He's like, "No, I do." And I'm like, "If you watch the show, you would know that joke immediately."
I didn't watch it because the ghost was
It's taking my soul. I forgot. I blacked out.
All right, we will see you guys next week when we tear this guy's team apart.
Oh,
Peace.
can't wait.